welcome to the Who Universe news. We are getting, of course, we're only just 2 days away from the showing of Doctor Bubbles, where we've actually got some new photos that have come out, and in fact, I might only show maybe two photos from the story that gives us a bit of a much more of a clear indication of what to expect from the story. If you're curious of how things are going to run, there's some pretty cool shots that are going to be coming from the story that might give me hope that the story might actually be good. Anyway, so now we're basically going to focus on first off discussing about the Roger story, because we do have a synopsis for Roger and of course the cast list. This is the Bridgerton story that we've been obviously many of us have been waiting for. It's going to be 45 minutes. It'll be airing on Saturday the 8th of June, 6:45 instead of 6:50, so it's going to be a few minutes earlier than this week's story. And the synopsis reads as this: the Doctor and Ruby land in 1813, where guests at the Duchess's party are being murdered, and a mysterious bounty hunter called Roger is about to change the Doctor's life forever. Now, judging from all the clips we've seen of Jonathan Groff as Roger, yes, he's playing Roger in the story, he has a gun that's pretty similar to Captain Jack's. And I think a lot of us are looking at this guy as being the new Captain Jack in the new RTD run of Doctor Who. So could this be the new Captain Jack that's replacing John Barrowman? I think it's possible, considering he's got a gun similar to him, so it makes more sense. And considering they say it's about changing the Doctor's life, I think the thing that would shock him the most if it was Captain Jack as the bounty hunter. Imagine his reaction when he hears that. I think that's gonna call him a chav, isn't it? Or whatever he says in that trailer or that scene. So yeah, we have Paul. We also have Paul Foreman is also in here as Lord Barrington. Also, Clara Sunday is featured in the story, which makes me wonder if there's going to be something tying into Legend of Ruby Sunday in the story, potentially. We have Camellia Arger as Emily Beckinger, who's also featured in the story. Susan Twist again pops up as the portrait this time, which makes me wonder, why is she referred to as the portrait? Not too sure why. We have the housekeeper, played by Debbie Baker. Ashley Campbell playing the butler. David Charles as Mr. Price, just to name some of the characters who we will be seeing in this Bridgerton story, which is going to be very interesting, nevertheless, how this story plays out, because I feel like this story might have some implications in regards to how things are going to develop for the final two episodes of the series, but we'll see how it all goes. But nevertheless, Roger will be arriving for Doctor Who Saturday the 8th of June on BBC One, and it'll be on BBC iPlayer as we hit midnight early Saturday the 8th of June, if you want to watch it through BBC iPlayer. So that is the Roger story. And then in terms of Doctor Who Unleashed, they're actually going to be, in terms of the episode for Roger, which is going to go live at 7:30 on Saturday the 8th, they're going to be meeting with Hollywood star Jonathan Groff and getting all the radicals from Bridgerton, choreographer Jackie Murphy, and even Stefan's going to experience what it's like to work on a night shoot with the cast and crew. So there is going to be some night shoots in Roger that might be very interesting to see how that plays out. I think it might play very, very, very well. So that's just a taste of some of the story, basically what we're going to see from the Doctor Unleashed Roger episode that will be airing 7:30 on BBC Three on Saturday, the 8th of June. All right, so that's basically what's happening with that, and now we're gonna take a look at we might as well take a look at the ratings for the official ratings for Boom. The TV, the +7 TV only ratings for Boom is 3.38 million, and then of course the TV +4 screen, which is the other rating, gives us the rating of 3.58 million for Boom. Not too bad at all. But then, of course, what was really interesting is the overnight figures. Even though the overnight figures for Boom were low, the overnight figures for the 73 yards actually went up to 2.62 million. So it turns out that confusing storyline actually attracted people. which I didn't even know that was possible. But there you go. It turns out that people actually liked that confusing element of 73 yards. It turns out people actually loved it, which is really crazy that they love that story. But there you go. It's, yeah, that just shows how popular that story was when it came to the confusing nature of it, which is really cool. That people love that concept, which is nice. So, thought I would mention the ratings in case you're curious what the ratings were, the overnight figures of the overnight figures specifically for 73 yards, and the official figures for Boom. Now, as well as that, we do have a special Doctor Who magazine, which is 116 pages, looking at novels and hardbacks. They're actually offering a free CD audio book inside, which is called Paint the Legends. And essentially, this entire book magazine is essentially going to be looking at novels and paperbacks and audio adoptions of TV stories that have come out over the years, well, pretty much over the last 60 years, and basically looking at how more as well as looking at the books that were first published in 1964, and there's been over 223 to this date, which is pretty amazing that there's been that amount of books and stuff. And they've actually speak to David Whittaker, who was actually one of the book writers before he died in 1980. He was one of the originals from the early days. So that was pretty cool that you get to learn about the history of the hardback, paperback, and the audio dramas that they've done over the years, which is, and also you get a free CD, so you get a free audiobook with your purchase of this magazine, which is great. So this is going to be coming out for those who want to get their hands on it. It's going to come out on the 6th of June. So this is definitely going to be an opportunity for people who want to learn about the histories of the audio dramas and the books and novels that have come out for Doctor Who. So that's pretty nice that they're doing a whole magazine dedicated to that culture, if you're interested in that. Now, of course, as well as that, we do have 2 new images of the story that I thought I might show. There's quite a few images that have come out, and one of the images shows, of course, we do see an image of, one of basically the main guest star, who looks a bit afraid in this image. This is one of the new images that's come out that shows her afraid with this hologram around her, which is essentially her way of communicating with the faces. And this is how she communicates with the Doctor. Essentially, she's Lindy is the character's name. And essentially, this story, from the way that it looks like, it almost looks very similar to Blink, where the guest star is essentially the companion in the story, and it's up to, and basically the Doctor's trying to get her to basically trying to make it so that the Doctor can land in the area, because the Doctor can't land because of certain things, and it's up to the guest star to basically prevent whatever's happening to the town, so that he can finally help her sort of find her way through the town of, well, the entire town of Fine Time, which is essentially the town that she lives. So essentially, it's the Dr. Arubia sort of their basically her guides in this story, which is pretty interesting. And then another way to pretty much confirm that this is probably going to be similar to Blink is that there is actually a image here that shows the 15th Doctor in his actual promotion outfit, the outfit that he wore when he first began filming Doctor Who, because it turns out this story, Dr. Bobble, was actually the first story he filmed last year, which is really interesting. So this was essentially at the time when he was doing that promotional image with that outfit on. So we will see him in that promotion outfit. That was the first outfit we saw photographed of shooting Atwa as the 15th. So that's going to be pretty cool that we're going to finally get to see him in action with that outfit on in this story, which is going to be a lot of fun for Doctor Who. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. It's going to be really, really nice. There'll be a link in the description if you want to see all the other photos that they've brought out. There's quite a couple out that have come out. Most of them are from the recent trailers, and then there's a couple of new ones that have been added to the mix to give you some interesting perspectives of what this story could end up becoming like. But we'll see how it all turns out on when we see it this weekend, of course. But yeah, so I thought I would just share 2 of the photos to give you a sort of a taste of what the story could end up becoming like as we see it this weekend. But nevertheless, that is the of the season. We'll be having synopsises and schedules released for next week. Is that next week we're going to be getting a synopsis for the Legend of Ruby Sunday, the beginning of the finale. Yeah, that's essentially what we know about all the stories all the stuff we have for Doctor Who at this time, because I mean we're still, but the main thing is though, so I know full well there's going to be a lot of interest to see how the BBC is going to tease us this upcoming finale of Doctor Who. It's going to be very interesting. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you all in my my review on Saturday. So see you then.